My name is Natalie Cross, and if you'd asked my husband's family, they would have told you I was the woman who trapped their golden boy. I sat at the dinner table, watching Marcus's mother arrange her face into practice sympathy. And 6 months of being accused sharpened into one clean point. Our daughter Emma was 12 weeks old. She had Marcus's dark hair, my grandmother's chin, and the kind of cry that sounds like a small motor running at full speed. She slept in the bassinet I'd bought alone, wore clothes I'd paid for, and carried a last name her father claimed she didn't deserve. We need to talk about expectations, Marcus had said 2 hours after I'd delivered her. While I bled and shook and tried to convince Emma to nurse, he'd stood by the window with his phone. That baby doesn't look like me. We both know what that means. I'd been too tired to argue, too torn, too shocked by the person I'd married turning into someone unrecognizable. They never asked for proof of his accusation, so I let them keep their story while I built mine. The nanny camera I'd installed in our bedroom had better resolution than I'd needed for checking on Emma. It also captured Marcus's 3 a.m. phone calls, the text from Jay that appeared after he thought I was asleep, and the afternoon he'd brought her to our house while I was at my mother's. Showing her the nursery I'd painted alone, I documented everything. Time-stamped, indexed, stored, in 3 separate cloud accounts, because paranoia has its uses. Marcus's accusations started small. A comment about timing, a question about my coworker's goodbye party. Then they grew teeth. At my 6-week checkup, he told the doctor he had concerns about paternity. At Emma's first pediatrician visit, he announced loudly in the waiting room that he was seeking clarification. By 8 weeks, he'd told his entire family I'd been unfaithful. His mother, Patricia, had organized tonight's dinner. To discuss the situation, she'd said on the phone, her voice glacier smooth. Marcus deserves clarity. The family deserves truth. I'd agreed immediately. Marcus thought I'd fold. That shame would make me defensive. That isolation would break me. I'd brought Emma in her carrier, a diaper bag, and a manila envelope his mother had never imagined existed. The dining room smelled like Patricia's signature pot roast and unspoken accusations. Marcus's father sat at the head of the table, silent and resigned. His sister Vanessa scrolled her phone, performing disinterest. His brother Joel had brought his wife, probably for the drama. Marcus arrived 20 minutes late with a woman I recognized from my nanny cam footage. She had straight blonde hair, visible collarbones, and the posture of someone who'd never pushed a human being out of her body. "This is Jordan," Marcus said, guiding her to the chair beside his. "From work. I invited her because she's been supportive during this difficult time." Patricia's smile tightened. Even she hadn't expected him to bring his mistress to a family dinner about paternity. I kept my voice level. How supportive. Jordan's hand found Marcus's under the table. "Let's focus on why we're here," Patricia said, setting down her wine glass like a gavel. "Marcus has raised legitimate questions about Emma's paternity. We think it's reasonable to request testing before anyone makes long-term commitments." "Long-term commitments," I repeated. "Like assuming your son is the father of a baby born during our marriage. That kind of commitment? Given the circumstances," Patricia continued, "we think it's best if you and the baby stay elsewhere until this is resolved. Marcus shouldn't have to support a child that might not be his." I pulled the envelope from my bag. "I agree. Testing makes sense." Marcus's face shifted with something like relief. He thought I was surrendering. I slid the first page across the table. "Here's the DNA test I ordered 3 weeks ago. 99.97% probability that Marcus is Emma's biological father." The room went silent. Patricia picked up the document, her manicured fingers trembling slightly. "This could be falsified. It's from AccuTest Labs. You can verify it with the case number." I used the cheek swab from Marcus's toothbrush and a sample from Emma, taken by her pediatrician, fully legal under Ohio law for a married couple. Marcus's mouth opened. Nothing came out. "But since we're discussing truth," I said, pulling out my phone, "let's be thorough." I opened the cloud folder. "This is security footage from our bedroom, recorded over the past 4 months." I turned the screen toward Patricia. "That's Marcus on January 14th, telling someone named Jay that he'd take care of the paternity problem." I swiped to the next video, January 22nd. Marcus and Jordan in our house, in the nursery I painted, discussing how quickly he could get rid of me once he established the baby wasn't his. Vanessa stopped scrolling. "I have 47 recordings," I said. "Texts, calls, videos, All time-stamped. All indexed, including the conversation, where Marcus told Jordan he'd accuse me of infidelity to avoid child support. Joel's wife whispered, "Oh my God." Patricia's face had drained to match her tablecloth. "Marcus?" "She recorded me without permission," Marcus managed. "That's illegal. Ohio is a one-party consent state," I said. "I'm the one party. And I'm in my own bedroom." I set the phone down gently. "My attorney says it's admissible in divorce proceedings and custody hearings." Marcus turned to Jordan, who had started gathering her purse. "I should go," Jordan said quietly.